want to welcome all y'all to Fan of a Fan, and this is strictly only for the fans.
Welcome to Breaktime on Westside, your number one breakdown podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. Now, I would like to get into all the, now the man on the mic, blah, 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 but this is part 2. Part 1 was already there, and this is the part 2. This is the continuation. So, before you listen to this, you should probably go and listen to part 1. Probably a very interesting discussion that came in through there. But this is part 2, and we are continuing from here on out from where we left off in part 1. So we get to go back to the conversation in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, which is why I actually have one very interesting suggestion. Do you think that maybe we should actually start amending the law such that if a man cannot give his signed consent to having the child, then he does not get to pay the child support?
Yeah, there's actually a case for that, because there's an argument to make, because like I asked when we started,
Yeah.
my body, my choice mostly is construed from the point of a woman. Like, it's her body, she can choose to have the kid or not have the kid.
Yeah,
But without the man involved, there is no choice to make. So I am part and parcel of this choice.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Unless you're going to have an AI baby, which is an artificial, test tube baby. Let's just call it that. I can't remember the name.
Is it IVF or something?
IVF, yeah. If you're going to have IVF, then your body, your choice. But if I'm involved in the making of this child, then the choice you're about to make affects me somehow.
True. It's not even somehow. It definitely affects you.
Yeah. So if I tell you I'm not ready for a kid right now,
Yeah.
and you say, fine, I don't even need your consent because it's my body, then you get to take care of that kid when the kid comes. Because it's very unfair that I do my due diligence. You ask me for money.
Yeah.
I give you the money. Then you tell me you didn't take the contraceptives because you chickened out or you bought clothes, as your story babe said. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that information, honestly?
I have a slightly different argument to it, but it's the same exact conclusion, which is, yes, I do agree. We should probably have, laws in place that protect guys like that, because here's how I look at it. We both had 50% of the decision on using protection or not.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying it's 50% is that in 100% of that decision, I can say whether I want to or not and go in. She can say whether she wants to or not, and she'll allow me to get in. All right? It's not rape. It's not forced.
Yeah.
And, she's not incapacitated. She's sober, and she can see me do it. Like, hell, there's times when the babe will even take the
mjulus.
Yes, we'll even take the condom off in the whole kufa dereva kufa makanga type of situation. Yeah. Like, we both have 50% of the decision-making capability when it comes to using protection in the bedroom. But for some reason, it's like she has 100% decision-making capability when it comes to the consequences of us not using protection. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I think your argument actually does make sense, because what you're saying is pre-child, before the child, we have 50-50 decision making in terms of we have a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
If I say I'm not into the protection situation, you tell me you're not hitting unless you wear protection, that deal ends.
Exactly.
But I say I'm not in it for contraception, and then you say, it's fine, you just go right ahead.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to post sex, I tell you, here's the contraceptive, take the contraceptives.
Yeah.
So when the child comes, I should equally have the same responsibility we've been sharing before and after sex.
Exactly. Like, if I have that 50% before the consequence, then let me have that 50% after, so that I can say whether I'm ready to take care of the kid or not. And it can be something that's actually agreed upon. Because there's a lot of babes that have used this as a way to come up.
Yeah, and you can see now they're doing it out in public. And let me tell you, the law is rigged against a man. If you didn't know, it has not been so long since the law recognized that a female could rape a man. It was never in existence.
Wait, when was it recognized? Because I honestly don't even...
I can't remember when, but it hasn't stayed that long. Like, for example, there's a situation where two 17-year-olds are engaged in sexual behavior. And then right after that, the guy who ends up with a problem, the person who ends up with a problem is the 17-year-old boy.
Wait, what?
I know, like two underage people are engaging in sex consensually. But when the parents shit hits the fan and they decide, oh, my daughter is too young to have a kid, they take the guy to court or to police station. The guy is sometimes was considered to be the rapist in this case. Like the consequence befall the guy.
Wait, so if I'm 17 and I hit Shorty who's 17, then if the parents get pissed off, blah, blah, statutory rape, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's statutory rape, which means you don't have capacity to consent because you're underage, yet we are the same age.
Yo, that's mad. That is mad.
Hella mad. So even in this situation, I'm telling you, like the law is rigged around favoring the woman, you know? But that's a conversation that is actually progressive, and before it even starts happening, you're gonna face some major backlash from the female community.
I agree. I am going to face quite a bit of backlash, but it'll be something that people should definitely talk about. And I want to know your thoughts on this. Like, I want to know the thoughts of the people on this, because honestly, this one's mad.
Yeah, it is. It is totally mad, man.
Yeah. Now, we should probably move it on, though, because that wasn't the only thing that we're supposed to talk about. Now, so there was this thing that I sent you recently, and it's a very interesting dilemma. All right, it's a very interesting dilemma, and it involves the babes. Unfortunately, we don't have a babe to kind of question this with, but I think it affects us more as guys because we're the ones that usually do a lot of this rating. So I'll just read it out for the people. So in January, girl breaks up with her boyfriend. Okay.
All right.
In March, she starts seeing a new guy, and they have sex after 4 weeks. Okay. In June, they stop seeing each other. And somewhere around September, after, supposedly she's healed, she goes on vacation and has a one-night stand.
All right.
So, she's banged somewhere around January, banged somewhere around March, all the way till June, banged somewhere around September. All right. In December, she has a new man, but things don't work out.
Okay.
And by the time things aren't working out, there's probably a little of actuation that's happened.
Yeah.
The pipe has to have been laid, whether it was real pipe or whether it was a tap. It's probably been laid.
Yeah.
So now the question comes in. She has had sex with 4 guys in 12 months.
Okay.
Is this considered hoe behavior?
You asking me? You want to know what I think?
Yeah.
I actually don't think so. Let me explain though.
Okay. This one's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Yeah, and I'll explain this with an episode of my podcast I had done before. So this situation starts when a girl calls in on radio and says, "My man just broke up our engagement because he found my body count."
Okay.
So how this man found the body count was, he had proposed, he had popped the question. He had decided he wants to cuff one babe for life.
Yes.
So in typical cuffing routine fashion, the babes and the guys decides we're going to have a bachelorette night and a bachelor's night. So
yeah,
the bachelorette night was supposed to be held at the babe's house, and the bachelor party was supposed to be held at the best friend of the guy.
Yeah.
Kwa nyumba yake. So this guy akaacha nyumba yake, but then he forgot something and came back like 30 minutes later. So he knew he's not gonna, he didn't want to disturb them because their house is pretty big, and he could just get in and out without them ever knowing he was there. So
that is not what she said.
Please get your mind out of the shitter, man. Anyway, so this guy,
yeah.
When he got in the house, he found that the women were talking about dick. And the person who was on the mic, as you like to say,
yes,
was the babe.
Okay.
So the babe was talking about, and the problem is the babe was talking about this many dicks she's had in her life, man. And she was talking about them so passionately that nigga got insecure.
Wait. So in other words, She was declaring her body count.
She was declaring her body count to
Pun
her
intended.
friends. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is the friends were asking her, what about, for example, just going to shoot out names.
Brian.
How was Brayo? Brayo was dope, sijui nini, but yeah, he had good game, but alikuwa na hema haraka, you know? Then they move on to what about Fulani? Huyo alikuwa mpoa, but he used to go too long, alikuwa ananichosha. You know?
Yeah.
Then he would get there, she outlined a whole number of guys, bruh. And then at the end, the friends asked her, because that's the point of marriage. You're settling for one private part the rest of your life. If you truly remain committed to it, that is. So that's what you're settling for. All right?
Yeah.
So when it got to her man, she was like, it's all right.
And the guy had that.
He had the whole thing, man. You know, if I walk in and you're talking about me and you say, it's all right, I can live with the fact that at least I didn't hear the other guys, but I heard you describe other dudes with so much passion, my G. Like, I heard you talk about sizes and shapes, my nigga, and Cloud9. And the meme unasema, the most thing you can say about me is, it's alright. My nigga.
Wow.
Mans was hurt. So he didn't even take what he had forgotten. He walked out, went back to the bachelor pad and called the whole thing off.
Wow.
So the question was this man right to do so? And that's where I'm answering the question to your situation, whether she's a hoe or not.
Yeah.
So when I was analyzing that podcast, I found that getting these numbers in terms of body counts in our current situation is not a hard thing to do.
True. In the world that we live in, it's not impossible. It's not hard.
It's not even impossible. Impossible is a stretch. Impossible is like walking on water. It's not even, it could be, if you're a half decent human being with half decent game, you could get laid every weekend by a different person if you wanted to.
Okay, every weekend is a bit of a stretch. That makes it look like we bang on like a daily.
Oh no. My G, we are telling you, I don't know if you should direct your fans to my body counts episode so that they can hear people who are 21 with a body count of 80.
Okay, yeah, now that you've mentioned that, you have a point.
It's not so hard. Let me explain a situation to you, yeah? This shorty is talking about 4 guys in 12 months. If your ideal kind of girl is a virgin or a girl with morals, then definitely that's too much.
Yeah.
But
actually, virgin itself is already too much.
Yeah. But I was explaining this situation in my podcast like this. I was saying that sex for a woman is measured in the currency of a man. Okay?
Okay.
In the same way that a man's emotions is measured in the currency of a woman. So if you exceed the other gender's threshold of what is considered bad, you're considered a hoe. So if you're dating a chick and your body count is 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 people all your life, and your babe tells you a higher number than you have a problem. Most guys will have a problem with that.
Facts.
True or false?
That's true. That's very true.
That's very true. Even if she says the same number as you still feel uncomfortable and start thinking, oh my God, those are 15 dicks.
Yeah. Now you have dicks in your mind.
Now you have dicks in your mind and you're out here thinking, even you can't be as freaky as you want to with your babe because you're thinking...
You're not even enough of a freak.
I know, like, you're just like, I can't even go down on you. There've been 15 here, you know. So sometimes it is actually better not to know, but I digress. Here's the point. Shorty is not a hoe. Because in the way you've read those situations, my G, there is a element of different situations at different times that inform the decisions she makes in the different circumstances she is in. For example, when she has a one-night stand when she's on holiday, Shorty has been single, all right?
Yeah.
She has every right to do what she wants to.
That's true.
Shorty came back from her one-night stand, which probably meant nothing and it was just a quick fix. She comes back home, she gets a new man, it doesn't work out, and before they realize it's not working out, they've already smashed.
Okay.
Then she meets another guy who, even if you give yourself a break. Now, I think here's the problem. I don't think she's a hoe,
Yeah.
but I think in this situation, and this could be relative for the he or she in this situation, like, I don't think you're necessarily a hoe for being with 4 people in a year. But
Considering
considering there are people, and I'm going to give you an example of someone I know, my G. But considering how we are living in, 4 is not even a number, because these are different situations. And I know it sounds, if our parents or the earlier generation hears us say this, they'll be like, y'all are cursed. Y'all are cursed, my G. Why would you do this? For us, it used to be one our whole lives. Yeah, well, y'all didn't have Tinder and Instagram.
Or maybe 2 or 3.
Or maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, like there's always Ulewa University that they'll never talk about.
Yeah. Before they met your father and your mother.
Exactly.
But anyway, the point is, I don't think they're a hoe, but I think there's something you're not fixing within yourself. For example, if you're going to be with 3 people, it means in these 4 months, in these 4 people, you've dated them in an interval of 4 months each. So you're not even giving yourself a break in between. You're just hopping from one situation into another, So I think it's less about being a hoe and more about you not being self-conscious about yourself. So here's the example I was supposed to give you.
Yeah.
I know a guy who works these Nairobi clubs every single weekend, yeah? Turn up, we're turning up, it's gonna be late. And his mission is to walk away with a different mama every weekend.
And has he been successful?
I'm not gonna lie, not all weekends.
But most.
But if this nigga gets lucky, out of 52 weeks, let's say he's not even gonna go for every week. Let's reduce the number so that you can see just how easy it is to do 4. Let's remove like 20 weekends.
Okay.
The ones that you're broke, the ones that you can't go out, the ones that you're committed, the ones that you're sick. Let's just remove 20. You're remaining with 32 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Of these 32, let's say 8 of this, you get sure bet lucky.
Yeah.
Not consecutively, just spread apart.
Yeah.
Those are 8 babes.
Yep.
Then you're remaining with 24 people, right?
Yeah.
Then the next 8 people are the people you met, it never happened, but you have a thing going on with them. But it doesn't happen immediately. It goes on happening. Like, you'll meet once in a club, you vibe, you exchange numbers, but they have a boyfriend, you know?
Yeah.
Then they break up with the boyfriend and you get to smash.
Yep.
Let's say out of the 8, you have 5 of those happen in that situation. How many are you at now? You're 13.
Spread apart.
Spread apart.
Like their legs.
Like rumors.
Exactly.
But let me tell you, my G, you're already at 13 in a space of 32 weeks. How many months are 32 weeks? 8 months.
Yeah.
So you really think Shorty was a hoe for fucking 4 niggas in 1 year?
Nope. But I have a very different analogy of this. I have a very different outlook on this one.
Tell me.
Now, I looked at this in a very guy-like way. If you use body counts the same way guys do, then she isn't a hoe. But
at all.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The rules that guys run on and the rules that babes run on are very different.
100%.
Which is why a guy with a high body count will actually have an increased social value to a certain degree as opposed to a babe with a high body count. Okay? With babes, it's 100%. The other way around. So taking that and considering that we always want a babe with a lower body count, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not even looking at the body count because I'll get to the body count bit. Considering that she's been with all of these guys over the span of a year, I won't call her a hoe. But I will use a very, very interesting principle that I came up with not too long ago.
Okay.
Now, you know how people usually talk about how if she gives it up on the first date, then she's a cheap babe?
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. But there's a twist to this. So here's my very interesting principle.
All right.
Fucking on the first date doesn't make you a cheap woman or a hoe.
Okay.
But fucking on every first date, that makes you a cheap woman or a hoe.
Okay, that is true. That makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like with this babe, she's broken up with her boyfriend in Jan, right? Goes
Yeah.
start seeing a new guy in March. Honestly, I feel like she'd have probably wanted, or more like she'd have probably taken a bit more time to get to know herself a little bit better. Come to terms with who you are as a person. Enjoy being single
Yeah.
for a little bit before you get into a relationship. So that, it's not like you can quantify how much time that's going to take, but 2 months seems fairly quick, right?
Yeah.
All right, March, April, May, June. That's roughly about 4 months, okay? Assuming that they started on March 1st and they finished on June the 30th. That's about 4 months, technically.
Yeah.
Then, she decides to be single July, August. Another 2 months. Very weird. September, she goes on vacation and has a one-night stand. So let's say 2.5, maybe almost 3 months. Let's assume she got her dicking on September the 30th. So 3 months of being single. October, November, she might have started seeing this other guy because by December, it said that she has a new man, but things don't work out. So it's not like these guys were dating for a week or a day. Like this is something that went on. So they could have started dating from around October, November. Although time isn't really the problem here. Like she's consistently been getting into dating and relationships with 3 guys over a very short span of time.
Yeah.
And does it make her a hoe? No. It just means that she probably needs to start reevaluating herself in terms of her insecurities and relationships and shit, because if you have someone who's hopping from relationship to relationship, then there's definitely something wrong with the babe, or at least that's how we usually look at it.
100%. You do realize we came to the same exact conclusion that she's not a hoe, but she didn't take enough time to figure herself out.
Yeah, there's something else that's wrong, but it's not her being a hoe. That's definitely not it.
That we are agreeable upon.
Yeah, like I totally agree with you on this one, because like I don't have a problem with you screwing guys over the course of the year, because like here's the thing with my issue with body counts, because body counts affect people differently, and I think for babes it gives them a bad rep. And if you're using body counts to determine whether a baby's a hoe or not, it screws a lot of things up, because if she's been screwing 2 guys, one boyfriend, one side piece, and they've been doing it for the entire year, the boyfriend hasn't found out, the side piece is still there, he's been getting dick down. Like this babe has pretty much been cheating on the guy, right? But she has a body count of 2.
She's a hoe.
Yeah, she could be technically considered a hoe. Yeah, so if you drop her, then she goes to someone else, and she hasn't healed from her past relationship and shit, and she intends on doing the same exact thing. She's technically a hoe, but her body count of 2 messes the entire thing, because you're using the wrong metric to look at it. Then then assuming that she has a body count of 40, she could have banged 38 guys in between the past 2 relationships she's been on.
Yeah.
So does that make her a hoe because she was having sex while single? Not exactly.
Which is basically what I've said. It's not about, when you're single, you're not answerable to anybody. And let me tell you, when you get a little older, you start to realize sex for older people. I don't know if you watch over 25.
No,
over
I don't.
25, over 25, they have a very mature vibe of things. And you realize sex is different for older people, because you know what you want, you're less judgmental about what you don't want, you just accept it, and it works, it cuts across board for who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
This will work for me, this won't. And everybody has some history, because let me ask you, if a girl started smashing at 18, you meet her at 28, and that's 10 years apart, and every year she's smashed 2 guys.
Which is a weird metric, but okay.
Yeah, let's just assume that. Yeah, she's just smashed 2 guys. So by the time you're meeting her when she's 28, she has a body count of about 20 dudes. Right?
Yeah, which is low by a lot of people's standards.
by people's standards, it's low. Some people are hitting those numbers in 8 months or less.
Yeah.
But it's low by these standards, but for society standards, that's quite high. But if you're the guy she met when she was 26, and you met her, you didn't know her body count, you just met her at 26, and then you dated her from 1st of January to 30th of June, 6 months, and she's smashed nobody else in that period, and she stayed alone, or rather you came in as the first guy of that year, would you call her a hoe just because at that time she has smashed about 10 guys before you?
No.
Exactly. Like the metric is all wrong for analyzing what constitutes
Hoeing.
body count or hoeing for a lady.
Yes.
Because as a man, it's so different.
Yes. For a
As a man,
lady,
it's so different.
yeah, I personally feel like for a lady, they run by a different rule and a different set of metrics. If you were
Yeah.
to tell me that this babe has dated, say, 6 guys over the course of the year, and every time she gets out of a relationship, she's getting into one, then I'll be like, you know what? No, I'm not feeling that babe. Okay? Like, the body count works primarily for guys because if you as a guy have hit all of these babes, because as some podcaster was saying, women hold the keys to sex, men hold the keys to relationships. If a guy
100%.
if a guy has hit 40, 50 babes, he's managed to get all of these babes to bang. Like, he's managed to gain a lot more from that. And that's where our quantity comes in. With a babe, her value will tend to increase, not by the number of guys she's smashed or even dated, but by how long she's managed to be with them. All right?
Yeah, and I think those metrics start to make sense. I also had another podcaster say that the reason why men take pride in body count, which I primarily agree in, is because the choice of sex is held by women.
Yes, the whole them having the key.
Yeah, we don't choose to have sex with women. Women choose to have sex with us in the sense that they allow us to access to their body.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up way of putting it, but it is how it is.
Yeah.
But the reason why the body count is negative to them is because if your body count is high, it means you allowed more people access to you, which makes you encounter negative vibes in the society based off your body count.
True, there's that whole, a lock that's been opened by a lot of keys is a faulty lock.
Yeah. A key that can open many locks is a master key.
Yep, and guess who's got the key in that situation?
But anyway, I sympathize with women because you see, in that situation, when they are generating these body counts, they're generating these body counts with men.
True.
Not by themselves, not by some robotic figures of men. It's by men. So, in the same way, she's a number to you, to that guy, you are also a number to them.
True.
So, it's a weird dynamic that I can't really constitute hoeing as body counts per se.
Yeah.
But you all should listen to my body counts episodes and judge for yourself, because I have done an actual research and I've interviewed people about body counts. And well, you can even tell the women are more accepting of their boyfriend's body count as opposed to the opposite situation.
Definitely. And I am actually going to link that one to the bottom of this episode of the podcast. But so far, I feel like we have come to the end. Thank you so much for hopping onto the podcast, Mr. Wesley Jeff.
Anytime, bro.
Yes, and thank you to each and every one of you that has listened to this entire series of Fan of a Fan, hosted by me, Sir Denver B, as well as my many guest hosts who have come in. I would like to thank each and every guest host, especially if you are listening to this episode. Regular episodes resume from next week, and if you do have any thoughts, comments, or feedback that you would like to give regarding this episode, on Instagram it is at Breaktime on Westside, on Facebook it is also at Breaktime on Westside, and on Twitter you can slide into my personal DMs, which is at Bugaka the D. Thank you so much for listening, and if you are listening through Castbox, feel free to drop your thoughts and comments below, and I will attend to them accordingly, and I will catch you guys on the next break.